Dividing rational numbers will be our next topic. An important vocab word we need to know is multiplicative inverses. So multiplicative inverses, or reciprocals you might have heard of in the past, are two numbers whose product is 1. So in other words, it's basically like you're flipping the fraction. So in our example, we have 3/4. Its reciprocal would be flipped to make 4/3. If you did 3 times 4, it would get you 12. If you did 4 times 3, it would get you 12. 12 divided by 12 would equal the product of 1. This example, we have 3/5. Its reciprocal, or its flip, would be 5/3. Again, 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 divided by 15 would give you 1. So multiplicative inverses is the same thing as a reciprocal. So our steps to divide fractions. Many of you have probably heard the saying keep, change, flip, KCF, not KFC. If that helps you remember, but just switch your C and F around. So if needed, you need to convert any mixed numbers into improper fractions or make any whole numbers fractions. Okay, that's only if needed. It's not going to be needed all the time. So if that is not needed, you keep your first fraction. You change division to multiplication, and then you flip the last fraction or take its reciprocal. So that is your keep, change, flip part. Once you have it into a multiplication problem, you just follow the multiplication steps. It's just basically multiply across. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. At the end, you need to simplify using your greatest common factors if necessary, and then convert to mixed numbers if improper by using your long division if necessary. So the good way to remember it is keep, change, flip. Let's take a look at some examples. So the first one, I have 2/3 and I'm dividing it by 5/6. So I do not need to convert any mixed numbers to improper fractions, and I don't have to make any whole numbers fractions because I just have both fractions. So your next step would be keep, change, flip. I use this helpful letters and mark it under it to help me remember. So I'm going to keep my first fraction, change division to multiplication, and flip your other fraction. Now you just have a plain multiplication problem that you're used to from the last lesson. You just multiply across. This is going to give us 12/15. Okay, we will need to separate them. Let's look at our factors. So the factors of 12 are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Our factors of 15 are 1 times 15 and 3 times 5. So besides 1, they have a factor of 3. So we can divide them both by 3. So 3 can go into 12 4 times, and 3 can go into 15 5 times. So our final answer would be 4/5. Our next example, we have 3/4, and we're going to divide it by 1/2. So again, we don't have any mixed numbers or whole numbers, so just do your keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep our first fraction, change division to multiplication, and flip your second fraction. Now, once it's multiplication, you can multiply across. So that's going to give us 6/4. Now we can simplify because we know they're both even numbers, so we can divide all even numbers by 2. Or you can find their factors like we did in our last example. So 2 can go into 6 3 times, and 2 can go into 4 2 times. So I have 3/2, which still gives us our improper fraction. So now we need to convert our final answer into a mixed number, so you need to divide. We have 3, we're dividing it by 2. 2 can go into 3 one time, and then there's 1 left over. So this as a mixed number would be 1 whole time, and then 1 left over out of 2. So 1 and 1/2. So we'll be doing plenty more examples in class tomorrow. So for all my visual people, let's do some visual models. So now the first example, I have 2 divided by 1/3. So if I have 2 things and I want to divide it up into thirds, I would take it and break it up into 3 pieces on each one. So now this is a third, that's a third, that's a third, that's a third, that's a third, and that's a third. So how many pieces are there then? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So our answer would be 6. So if I did a keep, change, flip, you would have got that answer of 6/1. You have 2 things and you're breaking it up into thirds, which will give you 6 pieces total. In our second example, we have 3/4. So we have 3 out of the 4 pieces. Okay, and we want to know how many halves can fit in those 3 out of 4 pieces. So you have 1 whole half that fits in there, and then you have half of the other half. So that is how you get the answer of 1 and 1/2. You have 3/4 and you're breaking it in half. So you have 1 half that fits in there and then half of the other. So that is just a visual example of why and how that works. We'll be doing more examples in class tomorrow, so come with your questions.